How you doing?
Anything nostalgic to trip to Buffalo this weekend for you?
Say it again.
Anything nostalgic this weekend about going back to Buffalo?
It's my first time obviously going back since I left. So obviously it'll be a lot of emotions, but it should definitely be a good time.
What kind of emotion do you expect just walking back into that
I think
stadium?
excitement. I think excitement, man. I was there for 5 years, so just getting back there, man. It's gonna be exciting.
Tremaine, with so many moving pieces with the defensive backfield, what is the level of readiness you would assess for them?
As far as
If they're ready to play with, so many players being out and so many players coming back in after.
no, I'm saying you saying Buffalo, or you saying us? Oh, gotcha. Oh yeah, nah, guys have been stepping in, playing at a high level. The NFL is the next man up. That's just what it is. Obviously we play a sport. Injuries happen at a high level. So the guys has been stepping in, playing good. Extremely confident in them, and know that they'll come out and do a good job.
I mean, along those lines, how important has it been for you and TJ to be out there every day together?
Yeah, very important. I think us just taking those steps day in and day out, learning off one another. Just growing. Seeing what he sees, seeing what I see, and being able to come and look at it after practice, and not just talking about it, man, is very essential. Just leading. Leading out front, and just pretty much just putting our brains together. You know what I mean? Two heads is obviously bigger than one. So being able to take what he see, take what I see, and just be able to take our game to the next level, not just for us, but just being able to just pull up everybody along. And we're not out there by ourselves. We're not doing it by ourselves, man. We got great leadership, great guys that we can depend on, and that's what it's all about. Training camp is meant to be hard. Training camp is meant to strain a little bit, and that's what we've been doing. We've been focusing on taking that next step, and that's what all the focus is right now.
I mean, even without playing a game, a preseason game, a regular season game, can you already see where your familiarity with the defense that you didn't have last year is going to pay off, and just being on the field, which in training camp, which you weren't as much last. Can you see how those are going to pay off for you and with an even bigger year this year?
Yeah, I think it's off to a good start. Not just with me, but just defensively altogether. I think obviously your most availability is being out there, and being out there, seeing reps, going game speed, going full speed, and just adding those reps to your belt. Day in and day out. I think it's definitely gonna set you up to be starting off at a high level, and that's what the focus is just for the whole defense. Coming out, starting fast. Not waiting. Applying that pressure early. So, being able to be out there and, obviously going full speed is definitely essential.
What level? I imagine you want to take it to even another level this year after last year. What are you looking to do this year that maybe you weren't able to do last year? Where do you want to go? What's your goal? What's your
Yeah, obviously expectations are high. I mean, that's for myself, what I put on myself. It is really not, I wouldn't even say expectations, but it's just, what I know that I could do, that's what I'm trying to put on display. Whatever, you want to put behind that, that's just what it is. But, at the end of the day, the goal is to be the best. And what that looks like, obviously, is going to be different for everybody else, but I know what it looks like for me. So that's what my focus is day in and day out.
Kyler played next to y'all as much as anybody else. He's been out for a while. So they're gonna require some type of adjustment period when he gets back to just kind of getting used to him being there versus Greg or Josh or whoever.
Kyler's a pro. Obviously, injuries happen, like I said. When he gets ready to get back out there, can't wait to have him back out there. But right now, I think the main focus for him is doing whatever he has to do to be healthy, because obviously we need everybody at 100 when they come back. So I got extreme confidence in him. I know he's a professional. He's going to take care of his business, and I know they have a good plan for him. He has a good plan for himself. So when it's time to come back out there and spin again, I know he'll be ready to go.
Tremaine, you talked about lofty expectations for yourself, but there have been several lofty expectations for the team in general. How does that affect you all mentally, whether it be for positive or negative?
Yeah, when I said that, I kind of caught myself because I'm like, hold on now. Expectations is really, it's no such thing, because at the end of the day, man, we got to focus on taking it one day at a time. I mean, obviously, everybody's going to put expectations on it, put expectations on what this player should do, what this player should do. But at the end of the day, man, we got to take it one step at a time, because it's going to be ups, it's going to be downs. That's just the way the league go. And I mean, it's really just going out there expecting to win. If any expectations, that should be the expectations, to go win. But everything else that we can't control, I mean, I can't. We as a team can't sit in the past and worry about what if this happens, what if that happens. You got to take it one step at a time, because when you start worrying about the outcome, that's when you really become affected the most. So it's really just taking it one day, looking at each other in the eye, and showing up to work each and every day. And then at the end of the day, like when you do everything to prepare yourself to be a certain way, I mean, you gotta, accept whatever comes behind it. But, we're setting ourselves up, for success. Like we expect to win when we get on the field, and we have extreme confidence in that. So, we're going to work every day.
Are
You
you
have
excited?
one of the best vantage points of Javon Dexter. What has you seen change in his game from last season now into this season where it seems like he's consistently being a disruptor?
Yeah, I think confidence. You know what I mean. I think obviously coming in as a rookie, you don't really know what to expect. You know what I mean. Maybe you think that you should be playing more. Maybe you're not playing as much as you want. Whatever it may be, I think it's just confidence level. You know what I mean. Like he came back. I mean, if you look at him, man, like he in a different type of shape. You know what I mean? Like he running fast, like coming out the stack, like getting to the ball. Like, I mean, to be as big as he is, you know what I mean? Like he moving at a good pace. So, just seeing that from him, I'm excited, man. He's making a lot of plays on the ball. Obviously, he has a big frame, so just being around the ball, knocking, you know what I mean, batting them down and everything like that, it's going to help the team out because those are big plays. You know what I mean? Looking at a big play versus, now the quarterback got to come back and try to throw over a 6'7" guy. You know what I mean? So anytime you can get that type of push, in the passing game and even in the rushing game, it's gonna help us out as a defense.
Are you excited about Caleb Williams' first live game action? I mean, are you excited just to find out in the game, like, do y'all got one of them guys or not? Just small sample size as it is. Are you excited about that?
I think all of us are. You know what I mean? Like it's a new time, and but I understand how the NFL goes as well. Like I'm not saying you got to come out here and be a superstar from day one because I'm a realist as well. Like I understand it's gonna take repetition. It's gonna take going through some stuff. It's gonna take experience. Experience is the number one teacher. So just getting those live reps, though, I know just me being a rookie, like I know how essential that is. So just I'm excited for him just to see how it feels. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I understand all the success that he have, but the NFL is different, and just so he can feel how that is, and just get that full experience, is gonna help him out. But I mean, I got a ton of respect for him, ton of confidence in him. But I also understand, like, I don't have any expectations on the first game, man, because I understand, like, nothing's gonna be perfect. So all he has to do is just be himself, and that's good enough. Because I seen it on the practice field.
Jermaine, to that point, you guys have made it really hard on him in practice because you're a very good defense. How have you seen him deal with the struggles the things that you've thrown at him and kind of deal with the frustrations that he's going through?
Right, and that's why even answering that last question, I can say I have confidence in him because I mean we got a good defense, you know what I mean, and I can tell how he responds to certain situations. Like this kid gonna be special for sure. So just seeing that and just seeing how he likes to compete. Like I talked about it before, like somebody that wants to compete when it's in them and not what I mean. We use that phrase on them, like they definitely set up to do good things, and I could see that in him. I could see it in his eyes, see it in the way that he talks, go about his business. So it's definitely gonna be fun to watch.
I mean, in the last year plus, what has struck you about Jalen Johnson and most of all that edge that he carries with himself when he's competing?
Yeah, I mean, knowing that he's a top guy in this league, I mean, I think you should have an edge about yourself, and obviously he's a guy that want that respect. He's also a guy that shows up to work every day, man. So you can walk with that confidence because it's not just talking about it; you're showing it out there on the practice field as well. A guy that obviously he makes a lot of plays, you know what I mean. But outside of that, I mean, just in the classroom with him, like extremely smart, knows what's going on around him, and has a good football IQ. I think that's what struck me the most about him when I first started talking with him. Like, this guy don't just play cornerback; like he actually know ball. And so I think that's the number one thing, man. Just his professionalism and the way that he goes about his business, taking care of his body, and things like that. I mean, you sit back and you observe certain guys, and he definitely has the traits of of a great player.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Tell me how you feeling? You missed a little bit of time and came right back.
Yeah, I'm all good. Nothing's wrong.
Do you want to play a bunch of the preseason?
I mean, it's like a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword no matter which way you go with it. Like, of course, you want to take care of your body throughout the camp and preseason, but at the same time, you need those reps to get better. And Kelp also benefits from having those reps, having the one line out there as well. So as long as he's out there, I want to be out there helping protecting him as well.
Tevin, I don't mean this as facetious as it's gonna sound, but does a contract year, like, you heal up a little faster? Do you push through a little bit more?
Yeah, I would say it goes both ways. I mean, as a thought, as a pro as itself, you want to push yourself past those little things, but as that extra motivation in that contract year, there's little things and bumps and bruises that you do want to keep pushing past more than you would give it more attention as opposed to like like the second year or something.
Is there a sense of, oh no, here we go again with the injuries coming along from both sides of the ball?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, it's football. You sign up for a sport that's like what 90% injuries all the time. I mean, it's what's going to happen. People get banged up. You don't have people up and down throughout the whole year. It's about being available and being there for your teammates right now. So being there throughout camp, getting those reps, learning from each other, and being there for each other.
Does it feel good for you just knowing that with Nate's injury right now, they're not moving you back and forth the way they did last year at guard?
Yeah, I do like being in one spot as of right now, so I could try to be the best I can in one position. Like you said, I have no problem being versatile and switching around, doing everything, but it does feel nice to have one position to do and one position to focus on.
How is Nate handling just kind of all the stuff? I know Flu said he had a setback on Sunday.
I won't speak on another player like doing that in that sense. Sorry, but I'm open book myself. But
I mean, but when you have a player like that in the room, like what is the responsibility, I guess, of the rest of the guys? A guy who's battling injury to, I know it's a next man up mentality, but is there stuff that you do to kind of like, or say anything to him, like to stay up, just kind of keep fighting through it? How does the unit come together in that sense?
Since Nate been here, I try to get close to him, and I feel like we have a good relationship, me and him, and it's like the banter we have back and forth. It's life. Life's gonna knock you down a lot of times. It's gonna be rough at certain points of your life. It's just about keeping him encouraged and having him be the best man he can be. Come back whenever he can. A lot of things happen, but that's all I really want to say about that.
Does it matter? How important is it for you to know who's going to be to your right at center and to building that chemistry?
It does matter, quite a bit, because especially going into we're going to Buffalo, so I heard their games are pretty loud for preseason games as well. Their fans they're amazing fans. So learning that silent cadence with that center's head bob, head turns, and all that stuff is very crucial, not only for guards but especially for tackles, because they got to get out and I'm not sure if Von Miller's playing, but like their ones are out there and they got the best pass rushers. They're jetting up the edge and they got to time up the center's head. It's going to be a big difference.
What will qualify as a productive Saturday for you guys as an offensive line? Just in whatever limited work you do get, what do you want to see accomplished?
Whatever makes my coach not yell at me. That's how whenever he's happy, we could be happy. I mean, as long as that grade sheet doesn't have too many loafs, we have a very strict loafing system, and that's the standard we have here. So little loafs, no coach is angry, be a good Saturday.
Tevin, where have you seen signs of progress in the offense?
I'll definitely say we have honed down on, I'll say, our scheme really, and a lot of IDs, mics, and understanding safety rotation, and it starts from inside out with the centers. Centers have been really good with it. Our screen games that went way up is really it's really productive right now. We're getting a lot of those things. I know you guys see the clips of Swift getting out and running everything, and we've had a lot more that doesn't get shown, that they get that pop for 20, 30 yards right now. So our offense is really clicking on a lot of things right now.
Caleb said that the area he'd like to improve most between now and week one is his blitz recognition, whether that's checking out of it or doing whatever. Where are you guys seeing that? I mean, the defense continues to bring some of those pressure packages in the 11-on-11. What are the things you guys can do to kind of help him expedite that process?
For our offensive line, it's about our code words. We have fire calls, alert danger, certain sides and everything. So if we're 3rd and 15, it's cover 4, and you see no stat. It's just that the wide receivers are pressed out over there, and it's only one middle linebacker over here, and DN's looking a little light on his feet. You say, hey, light one, we got pressure. All that pressure to the right, most likely. You turn around and say, light one. Go over there. He gets to a 4-man slot that way. Help him with the pressure recognition. It's a lot of things that we can help. Put that I won't say put an idea in his head, but get him more acknowledged to all right, they see something over here that doesn't look threatening, but over here looks like a problem. Like try to like make sure he can see what we see as well.
Tim, when there's a string of days where in 11-on-11 the productivity isn't great offensively, how do you put in the room perspective on it, where you're both real about acknowledging the room for improvement, but also understanding that you're still trying to piece a lot of things together in a new system?
Not gonna lie, I lost that question.
Just like when there's a few days when the 11-on-11 productivity offensively isn't there, how do you kind of put your perspective on what needs to be improved while also understanding there's a lot still coming together?
Well, you know, I've always said it. I've said it every time I'm up here. Our defense is one of the best in the NFL. One thing that we are we're benefiting from playing this defense right now, and the productivity is going to waver. Like we're going to go back and forth this camp. They know our calls, we know their calls, and we're battling back and forth. So what we get out of it is like, what can one man do his job? Like I don't know how to word that. Sorry, that's weird. But what can you do as a one man job, like your job, to the best of your ability? And then if all of us do it together, like all 11, how can we produce more positive plays? And especially against twists, pressures, slants, all that stuff. And how can we move on from where we're at?
Tevin, whether it's Bates or Shelton at center, do you notice a big difference at that spot with how they play the center position?
You know, I'll say they're both really the same, like close, really good play. They're both amazing players, first of all. And they're both very smart. When they switch in and out sometimes, you could tell the ID points are still on point and everything. There's no hesitation in their sets. They're doing everything. And I feel like it's just good overall to have both of them in that competition.
One of them is left-handed, one's righty. Is that?
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that until like a week ago. That's crazy.
Never mind.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
I'll give you a different question then. I lost my
Sorry.
When you talk about going up against your defense and everybody knows everybody's calls. You know, next week you're gonna have the Bengals and they're new, they haven't seen your stuff, they don't know what you're doing. Is that, in a sense, a truer test of what you guys can do offensively?
I would say so. I mean, we've gone against each other since OTAs. Of course, they're gonna pick up on our slide calls or run calls or like our tendencies, basically. And a lot of teams on the NFL right now have people that listen to the game copies. And we're not dumb about that either. So we got to do like a lot of dummy calls. We got to do a lot of fake points. We got to do real points. We got to do real things that make it feel authentic as well. So there's a lot of things that go into it. So I would say, yeah, just like last week with the Texans, I'm sure we switched up a few things so that when we do play them in week 2, that we don't show them that real calls, fake calls, switching around everything as well.
You can't fully test a running game in training camp, but Cole said the other day that there's some things coming together with the running game that really encourage him. What, from your perspective, are you optimistic about with the way the run game's coming together?
I'll say all of our runners, very physical. They do a lot of quick jump cuts. They're getting a lot better about pressing balls. They're getting a lot about sticking their foot in the ground as well. Like they're just right on top of double teams, would help us get on top of those backers, which helps us with our angles. And they've been more, I would say, had a lot more. I wouldn't say a lot more. They've been really good about it this year. You know that they have improved and stepped up their game. That it's also been helping us as well.
Do you look forward to flipping the switch in terms of being able to root for DeMarcus? Like you and him got the most disposition on either side of the line. I know he get on your nerves sometimes, the way he is. Do you look forward to being able to switch and start to root for him as opposed to y'all going at each other all day?
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see him hit somebody else finally. You know, there's a lot of battling back and forth. I'm excited to see somebody else hit Billings as well. Yeah, he's a handful. Yeah, he's a big guy. But
Thank you.
Just started out like that, huh? You know, you're kind of old there.
So you're super old, so.
Yeah. Been long enough to see teams struggle a bit in camp. With that experience, what do you think is the recipe for the offense to gain some more consistency?
Well, I think for one, that's what camp is for, right? It's just building up those calluses for war. And when you say struggle, it just depends on what vantage point you're looking from, right? So one day the defense could have an amazing day, right? And the next day the offense could have an amazing day. And then sometimes we're just going to meet in the middle, right? And so I look at it as just experience and lessons. And as long as we're peaking at the right time, it was all worth it, you know?
Marcellus, from our vantage point at least, it looks like the passing game's a little clunky right now. What are you guys seeing that gives you kind of confidence that you're kind of on track to have the passing game ready to go in a month?
Caleb Williams. You know what I mean? He's obviously, you know, with a young quarterback, we're going to have those moments. In the passing game, it's about being cohesive and the timing of it all. And we're still working out that you know, those kinks. But as far as what we're going to be able to do, we're not even really worried about it. We got the guys in the positions to do work, and we're just going to lean on the work. We understand that, you know, not every day is going to be beautiful out there, but if you keep working through it, come September, it will be just fine. We got plenty of time.
All right, what has impressed you about how Williams has navigated the struggles, but also grown into that leader?
I think it's his attitude. He's definitely my type of guy. He's like he wants to be great. He asks the right questions. He's a guy that can kind of navigate through the tight spots of like being able to have real conversations with the older guys and then like really float in that space with the younger guys that are around him. And he's a special kid, and I feel like as long as he keeps that about him, he's not going to have any issues. It's his mindset that'll get him through these things that we're going through in camp and being able to just roll with the punches. And he's shown that. You know, he doesn't lack confidence, and so you know, it's been really impressive.
Being a veteran, what kind of questions has he asked you that kind of leads you to believe like he gets it?
I mean, just little stuff about the game of football in general, but to be honest, I mean, we talk a lot about life and investments and entrepreneurship, and like he's just different in that way. And you know, as far as the football side of it, obviously, you know, he's made a lot of plays in college. He's come in and, you know, took this offense really by the horns. Right now, he's in the process of really making it his. So there are going to be some, you know, some mishaps or some things where the timing is off, but this is where you get your swag at is in practice, right? And I'm a big proponent of, you know, I'm gonna play like I practice, and I think he's the same way based on the conversations that we've had. You gain your confidence in practice, and practice is your opportunity to make mistakes and to try things out and see if you can fit a ball here and do certain things. And so when the game comes, you're just flowing. It's your day, and yeah, he's a special cat.
Vets have to fight the urge at times, like if you see something that maybe he doesn't recognize, Caleb doesn't recognize right away, to not correct him in that moment and let him kind of like go through it until he figures it out?
That's a good question. I think maybe a mixture of both on both ends, but again, like I was just saying, he'll come find you on the sideline and be like, "Yo, big dog, what'd you see there?" Or Cole, what'd you see? Or DJ, how do you think we could have ran that route or made this better? Like he wants it. You know, he's not a guy that's like, oh, throw a pass, go back on to the next one. Like it's more so like, you know, after a certain period, it's like, okay, how can we get better going into the next period? And you keep doing that, you stack those up, you know, you be a good player by the end of it. He's like I said, I'm pretty sure I speak for the whole team. He's impressive, and he's a guy that listens more than he speaks. So he's learning at a really fast rate, and yeah, all the praises from me.
What do you guys do? What have you guys done to facilitate him stepping into that leadership role? Because you want your quarterback to be your leader, but he's pretty young.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot of established players.
Well, to answer that question, just like in my regular life away from football, I have friends that are younger, mid-level, and older, right? We all learn from each other. Nobody's bigger than the next person, regardless of how many years you played. And I think that's important on any team or any organization. You want to feel like you all have a say-so, so you kind of like gain like that respect and love, being able to listen to somebody and see how they see the game. And again, he's doing a really good job of just listening more than he speaks, and then when he does speak, it's meaningful and we understand it. And as far as him coming into the offense and being able to just do his thing, it's about everybody else around him being the best we could be on every play. And if we go out there and we're our personal best on every snap, then he can go out there and just flow and do his thing. And I think we're set up offensively right now for that to happen.
Drawing on your vast experience, I'll put it that way. How does he rank Caleb Williams relative to other young quarterbacks that you've seen? Does he feel different than other rookie quarterbacks that you've been around?
Yeah, regardless of like where you're drafted, you can see if somebody has it, right? Like just watching them move around and just his fundamentals, his mechanics, certain throws that he makes, and it looks easy. The off-platform stuff, like he's just different. He has it, and again, it's just going to be up to us to make sure that we're doing everything in our power to make sure it's easy for him, so he can just go out there and create and do his thing. But I think it starts upstairs first, and mentally he's on another level, and so your body is just going to follow what your mind tells it. So,
How do you think the protection has been? You talked about doing your jobs. That's obviously a big deal. We've seen a decent amount of false start penalties, and there's been injuries. Is that a concern at all?
yeah. Obviously you want to be healthy going into the season, and injuries are a part of it. Once you start camp, the injury rate is 100% anyway, so you know that kind of going into it. And as far as the false starts, again, it's about the gelling and getting on the same page. And the more reps we have at it, the better we'll be. So not really a concern. We'll get it all figured out when it's time.
How can the tight end group elevate the offense within Waldron's scheme? Like, what about being in the tight end position can elevate this offense?
Well, our tight end room now is kind of beefy. We whatever you want, you can get it. You want the pass game, we got that. You want to run the rock, we got that too. So in our offense, the tight ends are expected to be heavily relied on, and we understand that, and we take that on. Like we like knowing that, and again, we're still working out the kinks and trying to figure out what guys do and what's the best situations to put them in to be successful and make plays, and it's been fun doing that. But you can count on us being the catalyst for sure.
Mercedes, in what ways do you think differently about training camp now than you did early in your career?
I think early in my career it was more so, and when I say early, I mean like the first 4 years. It was about establishing myself as a good player in this league and kind of leading by example, regardless of how old I was. And it's just more on my mind, right? I don't want to mess up, and I just want to do things perfect. And I think my perspective is changed a little bit, especially now. I'm more of a specialist when it comes to what I'm asked to do, and so my margin for error, I don't, really make too many mistakes out there. So it's really just sharpening my toolbox and making sure I'm ready to go when my number is called. But now I'm in a position to where I'm able to lead by example, but bring guys along with me. So it's been cool to be able to do this thing for as long as I have and play at a high level, because I get to see the transition of the game of football, not just in the film room, but on the field too. And, I'm just taking it all in. One day this window will close, but it's not right now. So.
Did you want to be here for training camp? Do you think they would have allowed you to sign later and miss part?
Yeah, I
want to be.
Yeah, I needed to be here for training camp. I don't I need this work. I need to be in here with the guys, let them know, let them feel me, be in the film room, learning early. I've always been like that. When I signed in June, it was really cool. Obviously turning 40 in May, them not knowing whether I was going to be in shape or not, they just, it was really cool. And you know, I don't take that for granted, and I'm very serious about my job. And yeah, man, it's been a great journey so far.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.